Alright guys, we got a new customer motorcycle in the shop today. Got this V-Star bobber, like it's I think it's a 1100, bobbed out. It's got some electrical issues. He said his buddy dropped it and those wires melted. So yeah, these three over here, into these three over here, and completely just melted. So, I believe that is probably, it's probably run into your stator and all that fun stuff. I'm going to see if anything up here got fried. It doesn't look like it, but we'll have to further investigate. I mean, oh man. Ooh, those are brittle. They're just breaking off. So, let's see what all goes to what. So, he's got that issue, and obviously it's not starting because of that. It hasn't ran in a few years. This is probably the biggest gas tank I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it's ridiculously big. I hear a lot of gas in there, so I'm going to have to dump that like I told him and get rid of that old fuel in there. Then he's got turn signals, brake light. Obviously, I'm going to juice up the battery and put it on, but he wants the brake light right there off of the license plate holder, which is fine. And then we're going to create some brackets on the back or put the turn signals there somewhere. And the turn signals off the top of this as well. And then hook this headlight up. And look at this rat's nest. So I've definitely got my work cut out for me. This is a lot. That's a lot. It's a lot to take in considering the age of it also. Not the age of the fact that he wants to do LEDs, and it's an older bike. So he said that headlight hasn't even been hooked up yet. So he's kind of unrealistic on the fact that, I mean, that's LED. Alright, well, it's got like a halo. It might just be bulb. Yeah, so I got a lot of work to do. First things first, get that huge gas tank out of the way and take a look at, that's not fuel injected, right? It's got to have a carburetor. Take a look at everything. So he said he's never even taken the gas tank off, so I don't know who bobbed that out or did all that. This is kind of, I mean, I wouldn't say like sketchy, but definitely not like secure and sturdy at all. But I don't know, this is before. Hopefully we get a good idea of the after, with working lights, turn signals, working brake light, I mean. So that's another thing I said, like, has it ever had? Yeah, okay. So it's got that switch. So I have to find that, run everything back from that switch. It's got a lot of wiring to do, a lot of wiring to run. Wish me luck. All right, let's get a little update on the 2002, I believe it was, V-Star 1100. Somebody, like I said, bobbed out or whatever, a little bobber. I'm a dual sport guy, or I'd go street bike. But I don't mind. A bike's a bike. So the battery he brought over, first of all, didn't even fit. It was way too big. And second of all, was completely dead. So, brand new battery, charged up fully here. I let it set for a good amount of time. It's the one that you fill with the acid yourself. So he saved a little bit of money there. Doesn't say anything about cold crank amps or anything, but just perfectly fits in there. So it was the biggest one that we could fit. So I'm sure it'll be fine. I cranked it over a few times and got it to pop off with whatever was left in the fuel line or in the carbs. So it is running. So that is good. I also did find a few wires here, brown, white, and yellow, which I'm assuming hopefully are brake wires. So he wants this brake light hooked up. It's in there. He wants it just above the license plate holder. So even just right there is not too much wiring to run, as long as that is what that is. The others I have, so these 6 melted together. There's 3 white coming from this with no markings at all, not even like a minus sign or anything like that. And then 3 white ones coming from this side. And I believe that is going in and towards like probably the flywheel maybe, or I could be wrong. It's going inside of the engine. This harness is going back towards some of the electronics. When I plugged it in, everything else I kept plugged in, and this one, where is it? Yeah, right here, that looked melted. They melted it. It got melted to it, but when I cleaned everything up and checked with the meter and stuff, it's making connection right there perfectly fine. And then this fuel pump came on. Like I said, and it popped off and started. So I don't think these have anything to do with it running. I would imagine. I don't know, because it wasn't like running yet. So I might try to get enough fuel in here. This old fuel line, it doesn't flex at all. It really needs ran back here, a new line, and then a new fuel filter. But the owner said he couldn't find a fuel filter, and who cares? So me personally, I told him, right now where we got this taken down, let's go ahead and do oil change, oil filter change, spark plugs, air filter, stuff like that, so you can just enjoy riding it the rest of the year. And he's a younger kid, and he just doesn't want that much money put into it, I guess. So I'm going to... Oh, yeah, I cleaned out the tank. There was a piece of plastic in it and a few other parts in the tank. Took off the petcock and cleared that out, and then checked these filters. Good enough for him. And tank completely cleaned out and then cleaned up. Also cleaned off the bike and cleaned it up. That way I could, it's easier to see any wires or anything else. I don't want any dirt or anything in the way. Decent little bike. It's a nice bike. Well, I wouldn't say little. It's a large bike. So 1100. So it's pretty heavy to move around in here too. I'm not the biggest guy, considering I'm the one here with the XR 150. So, all right, stay tuned. I'll show you guys the wiring next. So yeah, he wants that headlight hooked up. I told him I'm not sure if this bike and the electronics are going to support all the LED, like the LED bulb or the angel eye there, but I think we can set that up separately. If this is the light here, I would imagine, because that was probably the old bulb. So like I told him, we can go high beam, low beam, and everything, but then this is probably the angel eye, and that's not set up for that. So I might do just a separate toggle switch, on and off switch, so that can come on and off. Or if he just wants it on all the time, that I am not 100% sure of yet. So. Ooh, wow, that is not even really connected anywhere. That is not good. This thing is kind of just pieced together pretty poorly, so I'll do what the customer says. Stay tuned. Alright, new day here on the Yamaha V-Star 1100 here, and making some progress. Let's see where we're at here. with the electrical issue that it came here with. This customer's friend was riding it, and he dropped it, and it crushed one of the connectors on this side. They were the 3 white wires going in over here to this side with 3 white wires, and then a black and gray that's going to the stator or like flywheel side, that direction. So that should be for charging and recharging the battery. So I've got the meter ready over there. Once we get the fuel tank back on, a new fuel line here was horrible, in really bad shape, leading to this old, it looks like almost original from 2002 fuel filter. Customer's on his way to O'Reilly's to get the fuel filter. I've got a little bit of fuel line. I cleaned out the fuel tank and the petcock and everything like I mentioned before. He's got that. Going to put some fuel in there. I've got this block here. I don't have a motorcycle jack or anything in here. I'm going to have him help me put that up on the block so we can get this under there and change the oil. So he's getting some oil. Air filter looked pretty much brand new. I'm going to have him get a oil filter as well. I've got brand new spark plugs. It's got a brand new battery. I've gotten these back wires ready. Hopefully these are the brake line. So yellow, brown, and white. The new brake light has black, blue, and red. I need to look up where he got that, which one's which. Then hopefully wire those, and hopefully that goes good. And again, going to put everything headlight-wise into here, and then I'm not sure what was going on with everything else. There's like enough to do. Turn signals and another light. So the front wiring should be fun, but at least we've got the bike and running condition, and we'll have nice fuel, fresh fuel in it, and fresh oil in it. So, all right, stay tuned. Finish up the lighting here. All right, it has been a few days working on the Yamaha. It's a 2002 V-Star 1100. Still got some wiring everywhere. Here is the back tail lights. Look pretty cool. Matching the brake light here. I finally, after these wires were dead and they were tucked in there and coming out on both ends. So I was testing a bunch of different ends there for no reason, because by the time I actually pried it loose from I just took the battery and the plastics off and just trying to eliminate any wires, because I thought, well, that's the wires I needed. This is the plug for under the seat. I was digging around under here, just seeing the top of this. I just recently replaced the fuel filter, so I was looking around, and then finally I found these. So we've got brown, green, and then I'll just explain them right away since I've got them out. Brown, I think, was left, green was right. I could be vice versa on that, but brown and green are your turn signals. Black is ground, and then the yellow is, finally, I've got the brake sensor. And the front and the back, I just showed that different. The front and the back brake are both on to this one wire. So I'm glad that all worked. I tested them both. Everything worked. And we're good to go. And then the blue and the red is the running light for the brake. The customer did all this. I'm going to try to sure some of this up and then mount the turn signals off of that. But I'm glad that is done, because now, so here is the front done. And also I sprayed some WD-40 in there in the ignition hole there, and like 150% better. Like so much better already. So it's all rusty and dirty in there. So these are mine from an old, I think a Kawasaki KX400 or something, or maybe even a scooter just laying around here. I like that like blue halo or angel eye. The fuel tank again is cleared out. The petcock is huge, so I had to get this wider diameter fuel line, and it runs from there down right there into the new fuel filter. So pretty basic bike to work on. Pretty easy to get to most stuff besides like spark plugs and some simple things. Even had to take the exhaust off here, this exhaust, to get the oil filter out of there. Oil filter replaced. Got a little bit of oil to clean up. That was just dripping off of that case because it was just in the way. But should have this bike all wired up here and done. Tank back on. Just a few hours and she'll be done. Alright guys, finally. I believe we are pretty much done besides electrical taping that front harness. Finishing that up. Almost done with the V-Star. That fuel pump on. Oh yeah, look at that. Brand new fuel filter, brand new fuel line. We got nothing dripping. Everything's looking great. So, oil change, oil filter change, spark plug changes, added the tail light, added the back turn signals. I'll show those off. Brake light action. Some turn signals. And up front, we wired the headlight. Brake turn signals. These are, again, something of mine that I gave to him here for the build. Or, well, he's give him like $10 for them or something. I think they look good up there. I like that blue color again. And it's a low beam. Here is the high beam. And horn. Everything here is working. Guys, we are good to go. I think I'm going to put this thing in choke, make sure that's on. Start this thing up. Set this here. Oh. Hopefully that stays. I doubt it stays. It'll probably fall. Hey, watch out. Alright. Start it up. Everything's working, bud. Just gonna put everything back together. Here's the brake light. There you go. It's hooked up to both. Both brakes. Horn. Everything's working, buddy. There we go. Now it's starting to run better. Ooh, boy. This thing's sick. Still got to work out the carb a little bit. She's up and running, bud. Alright guys, just trickle charging the battery so it's fully charged. When the customer comes over, we're going to, he's got some kind of saddle, or I guess he doesn't have the original covers on each side. There's some thing that goes over, and then we could put the seat on. I'm impressed. I think it's job well done. I think it looks a lot nicer, way nicer than when it was dropped off. I'm not sure about those. Now that I look at them more, maybe we should go with smaller or LEDs, but I don't know. I think they go with the year. Maybe eventually he'll just get some blacked out ones for the front. But it's got some chrome up front anyway, so you might as well go chrome with some chrome up front. The battery got pretty drained because this will be like, it'll be red and then green, flashing if it's like 80% or more. So this drained it at least 20%, a brand new battery. I wasn't doing much. I was just hooking up the lights. I started it a few times and then ran it and then didn't go past a certain RPM. Well, I mean, I was revving it. So on the voltmeter I saw it went from like 0.12 to 0.14 as it revved up high. So I am very confident that this is back to working correctly. It's just like these got hot. These wires definitely got hot. So I don't know if there was a flywheel or a stator issue or anything. Customer's obviously just going to have to let me know if he's draining the battery. And well, he's going to go take a test ride. And then I'm going to take a reading before and after and see if it's been charging. So everything else seems to be going really good. And turned out really good on the bike. And just wanted to put this out there to help any owners of the Yamaha V-Star 1100. It is a monster. It's shooting flames out there. Probably because the mostly the carbs. He said it didn't run like for a year and a half after his buddy dropped it and busted those connectors. So the carbs are gunked up bad, and old oil, or not oil, fuel in the fuel tank. So after some carb cleaner and stuff being shot in there, yeah, we had some flames shoot out of those pipes. So. And then it started running really good, and it was popping off. But fresh oil filter, new fuel filter, good to go. If he wants to tune the carburetors and all that fun stuff, he can. He's good enough to do stuff like that. They're buried though, like it's very hard to work on those. So I could do it for them, but those are hard to get to, very difficult to get to. So I'm gonna leave it there, and peace out. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, I'd really appreciate it, and help build the channel and grow the channel some more. Thanks for the support. For those that have a great day.